ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Transformers action figure review on the Transformers 2021 crossover of the X-Men animated series, Transformers Collaborative Ultimate X-Spanse. If you're trying to get your Transformers, you can do so at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
right down there. Hit that like button to show your support for the channel, as well as that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And a big thanks to X-Man87 who gave me the heads up for this. I am so happy to have it. Showed up fairly quickly. Anyway, you have Ultimate X-Spanse right here, which is basically the Blackbird that transforms into the X-Men. I would have called it Mutatron. I thought that would have been a cool name, right? Mutatron. There's Ultimate X-Spanse right there on the side. You can see from the Fox Kids show, we have the X-Men, Wolverine, and Saber Tooth. And then on the back, you can see both modes. We'll go over the 34 steps. You can see the little mini figures right there. It says Energy Blasts in multiple languages. And then you can see Wolverine giving a pink bellow out there for the air. And then right here, you can see Ultimate X-Spanse on the side. And then not much more at the top. You can see the both modes over there. And then not much more at the bottom. So let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Ultimate X-Spanse out of the packaging, and not looking too bad at all, man. There are things that I do like about this figure, which we'll discuss, but there are also things I do not like. But first, let's get a closer look at the accessories. So we get these two figurines, we get these two effects for the Ultimate X-Spanse, and then we get the pink bellow right over there. Now these figurines are pretty dope, however, the Wolverine does fall over easily. Like if I just have him facing the wrong direction, or if there's just a slight angle, yeah, this one, he's just fine. The Saber Tooth is fine, and looks really good, by the way. I mean, look at that. Saber Tooth is standing at about 1.25 inches tall right there. That is super tiny. So for how small these actually are, and same thing with Wolverine, maybe just a little bit shorter, but yeah, for how tiny these are, they look pretty good. You are missing paint, you know, from the face right there. The middle of it needs some yellow, and, you know, they just took away his face completely. So some silver right over here for the claws, looking pretty good. And then the Saber Tooth right here has a lot of detail, but again, you know, just not the paint apps that you would want all throughout, right? Like the face tone and the hair is not painted. Same thing with the whole collar thing, but the sculpt of this is very impressive. So I do like that a lot. And then you have the pink bellow. You could put that on either side. It's supposed to emulate, you know, a slashing effect. So you could do that right there with the Saber Tooth. And it does look like the butterfly effect from Psylocke too, doesn't it? I wonder if they did that on purpose, you know what I mean? But there's no real way to attach it to a 6-inch figure. Just kind of, I don't know, you'd have to sticky tack on there. But anyway, you could put it on the Wolverine figure like that if you wish. So there you go. I would have gone with blue. That's what kind of reminds me of the effect that you see in the Fox Kids cartoon, right? And then here's the blades right here. These are like Energy Wolverine blades, looking pretty cool. And then you get the Psylocke side blade right over here, which has a port on the side. I really haven't figured out what that is for. And while we're looking at them, I just wanted to show off porting each of these effects into each of the corresponding arms. You can plug this into the bottom of the jet right here. You get a port right over there, so you can port this one in here, and then you can port this one along the same space on the other side. There you go. And yeah, clearance. Getting that drop down landing gear, which, you know, you just have to pull this out over here like so. And then over here, you can just pick this out, and then you get some front landing gear. And there you can see we have the X-Jet just resting on the floor like that, looking very good. So this is really nice. It's not wobbly or anything like that. The wheels do not roll at all, so that's a little bit frustrating. I kind of wish they could roll. These wing bits right over here, these are the most frustrating part of the figure for me. Like, these are just super loose and pop off very easily, and they barely stay in position, which is supposed to be like that. And it's just, yeah, it just really annoys the hell out of me. I mean, it'll stay, but as soon as you start moving it around a little bit, you just pop right off. You saw that, right? You all saw that, so that frustrates me. But overall, I do think this looks dope. I like all the paneling sculpted throughout on this, and this cylinder, you know, it transforms pretty well. There's a lot of parts in this, so that's pretty sweet how they're able to work that out. You can see the feet just a little bit at the bottom. I guess if you wanted to port in effects, I didn't even think about that until now. I think this is from Jetfire right here. Let's see, yeah, there goes the wings. Hey, it works! Damn, I just didn't even try that yet. And hey, so if you want to use some Jetfire effects, you can port them in right over there. So that's pretty badass. You just have to flip the feet out for that, which is kind of, you know, a mistransformation, but whatever, that works. I do like how all of this looks for the most part. Sometimes, you know, the sides right here can be a little finicky and pop off on me when I don't want them to, but I do like all the paneling, and this whole gridded thing going on right over here is very cool. You get all this zigzags right here sculpted up there. Yeah, man, these wings and everything look pretty cool. I hate how this flops off on me and everything. And then looking at the vents right here in the front look pretty sweet, so I like that. And then it's pretty compact. I mean, you could see all the stuff, right? You could definitely see all the stuff right there. I think you can hide it pretty well, though. You know, you could get it facing downward a little bit like you saw earlier and everything. You have these pieces that stick away, which kind of bothers me some. But I do like how this is all shaped and everything, so that is pretty sweet. And they have this detailed pink paint right over here in the front, which looks really good to me. So I like how it's all translucent, slightly translucent. It looks opaque right over here, actually, for these two windows. But for that one, it looks translucent right over there at the top. You can see that translucent plastic right there. You can see this came off on me right over here. Now to get some measurements on this Blackbird, or the X-Jet, or the X-Spanse, or Ultimate X-Spanse, you can see it's at about 13 inches across. That's a pretty lengthy transformer. And for a height measurement, you can see it's standing at around the 3.5 to 4 inch mark. And then for a little size comparison, you can see how tall these little figurines stand right here on the Ultimate X-Spanse. So it looks pretty good. If you wanted to have a 3¾ inch figure next to it, I was thinking that might look cool, but nope, it looks like a giant. I mean, really, that is huge. Look how small the cockpit is. Look how large these minifigures look compared to the cockpit. So yeah, even these aren't to scale. And then for a Transformers crossover figure comparison, I have Ectotron right here next to Gigawatt, and we have Maverick, and we have the Ultimate X-Spanse. I think Mutatron is still a better name, but yeah, these are all actually a lot of fun. I am really happy to have picked up all of them. Then here's Ultimate X-Spanse next to the MP03, or the Hasbro release of Starscream from the first version, and you can see how much longer X-Spanse is than this Starscream figure right here. That landing gear just fell forward. And then here's Ultimate X-Spanse next to the Earthrise Target exclusive Thrust figure, and you can see how much larger X-Spanse, or Ultimate X-Spanse, is next to Thrust. Big thanks again, Paul Lutz right over here. Love my Thrust figure. So I'm going to try something a little different with the transformation sequence. I'm going to go thoroughly through every single of the 34 steps, alright? So we'll get through it quickly, but we'll be thorough about it. If you don't like watching transformations, well, you can skip ahead. I'll put an annotation or something to let you know where to skip ahead. Alright, will you take us away, Bumblebee? Okay, so step 1 is flip it over 180 and tuck in the front landing gear. Step 2, tuck in the rear landing gear. And then step 3, you're going to tuck the feet away from the center. And then step 4, this already kind of happened, as I complained about earlier, this detaching a little bit more often than I'd like. But step 4 is removing these pieces right here and getting them away. And then step 5 includes pulling these panels out right over here on the lower portion of the boosters, so pulling those out, as well as flipping these top pieces inward. And it has 2 hinges right here, so it doesn't really mention it, but you want to double hinge that downward. It's going to shift down. Step 6 is going to be pulling out the tabs that are on the inside right here, so pull that up and pull that up. Step 7 is doing another 180 right here, and then swinging these parts up and swinging that up and away. And then step 8 is actually getting everything kind of leveled out right here. So you can see how it's going to form legs as you're going to straighten this out over here, and you're kind of looking for this odd shape that you could see right over here on the right side, more so than on the left side. And then step 9 is a bit tricky. You're going to pull these apart right here from the center. So they're double hinged inside there, and it's going to lift away and out, and you're going to scoot them all the way out. You're going to do the same thing on this side. And then step 10 is actually flipping these each around, going the opposite direction. And step 11 is mushing these pieces down. Like I said, they're double hinged, so you're going to smush them together. Oh, and there goes another wing. And do the same thing to this side. Step 12, we're going to move this flap in, and this wing should be sticking out, and move that inward. Then step 13, we're going to hinge this down and move that into place. Of course, same thing on this side. Step 14, we peg these into the tabs and close that up. Step 15, we rotate these outward on the hips right there at the pelvis. They're going to face away from the figure. And then step 16, you just move the legs downward. Step 17, we're going to turn this whole thing around and then remove these flaps right over here at the top. So you can see they're just going to detach And you're going to pick this out right here. Yeah, gets a little finicky moving all that stuff around out there. Then step 18, you move this away. And then step 19, you move these panels out. Step 20 is lifting this up right here. And then step 21 is moving this all back and scooching it like that. Step 22, we're going to go ahead and remove the front. Step 23 is moving the arms out. Step 24, we're rotating these just 90 degrees. Step 25, swing that up. And step 26, we're ratcheting these down. 27, we're going to swing these in. 28, we have a double hinge right here, and we're going to swing this all the way down to the middle of the figure, which is really tricky to do. It keeps running into the face right there, but there you go. And step 29, flip that down. Step 30, everything is swinging down right here. You want to make sure these panels are going to be in the front, and everything's going to flip down that way. Step 31, you're swinging these up to the top like that. Step 32, you're going to connect into this port right here, and that'll collapse like that. And I guess part of step 32 is making sure this is pushed in. 33 is really just connecting this right there. You can see where that's where it ports right in there. And then step 34, you're going to swing these up right here. And now we don't have a complete transformation. So they did miss a step. I did notice in the directions that the thighs did have a circular piece showing in the front. So it doesn't say you're supposed to do this in the directions, but I highly recommend to complete the transformation, you get the legs sticking all the way outward, and then you rotate a whole 180 inward like that, and you want to do that on this side as well. So it's supposed to actually rotate the other way around, and this has happened to me every time I transformed it. So there we go. Now you get the ports facing forward. So a little incomplete on that transformation process, but regardless, now we have Ultimate X-Spanse all transformed. And actually, I did forget that secret step at the end, if you notice the top of the thighs over there. But anyway, I will talk about the things that I like about this robot mode, as well as the things that I don't like. First, let's get a closer look at that head sculpt. So here's a closer look at Mutatron, or Ultimate X-Spanse, which I think is such a weak name. But anyway, one thing I don't like about the design here is that the way they have these flaps over here configured, you're supposed to put, you know, the Saber Tooth and the Wolverine figures up here standing. That's what the directions say you're supposed to do, you know, which is kind of neat, kind of fun. But I would prefer to have these hinged inward, flapping them inward like that. Looks a little bit cooler to me. So I just prefer that configuration. I don't know, something about it looks more streamlined. But I really do like the head sculpt over here. It looks pretty good. We do get a pretty long, narrow nose, and those eyes are pretty wide over there. And of course you get the visor representing Cyclops, which is pretty neat, which is only one of the 3 mutants that we're actually seeing represented over here, right? I don't know if it's more than 3, because there's Cyclops, the Wolverine, and Psylocke. Those are the 3 I'm picking up here. I guess the vest or chest is kind of like Cable. Like how you can see the X's right there on the side of the visor, and it's got the points right over there. And looking at all the details of this figure, it looks really nice. And I love that we get color variation with like the metallic gray that we're seeing right here, which is not quite silver, but we do get a gunmetal gray, which is nice and shiny. And then nice details right over here with the hand. You can see the little X right over there. It's just littered with X's all over the place. You can see the port right there for the weapons. Then there's the back of the arms. Looking at the chest right here, I really dig this a lot. At first, I thought it looked kind of cheap, but not really though, man. I mean, once I had it in hand, I really dig this. Nice clean paint apps right there. Nice silver paint right here, so the yellow and everything. And I think the belt came out looking really clean right here too. I really dig this a lot. You get the wheels right here. They tell you to flip them up. You could turn them sideways if you like, but it kind of fills in a little bit more space if you have them flipped up like that. At first, I did transform this incorrectly, so you may have seen that. Hopefully, I left an annotation or something, but yeah, you get these little ports sticking forward. I don't like how gappy this looks right over here. I wish the plastic was filled in a little bit more, but you get those ratchet joints, some hidden X's right here on the sides of the knees, and then you have the exhaust right over here from the jet mode. And then I like how this all collapses in over here. This is actually pretty neat looking. I don't know, it's still clunky with these fins. I hate this right here. These do pop off so much easier than I'd like them to, but I don't know, the way this all collapses over here, I think it looks actually kind of neat, even though I wish we had a little bit more heel on the floor for this. It would just help getting the figure to stand a little bit better. But I do like how the feet came out. They do look pretty cool. I also wanted to get a look at the back of the figure over here. You can see it's a little bit messy, you know, backpacky. It's alright. I don't know. Doesn't bother me. I do like having the wings right here. And this gunmetal gray looks really good. I like that quite a bit. So I'm going to do the articulation on Ultimate X-Spanse over here with the weapons attached and everything, just so you can see how well they do stay on the figure. Of course, you have the articulation over here, which we already talked about, and you could move the wings up and down right over here. The head turns side to side. You get no head pivoting over here, and it will look up that far, and you can move the head looking downward. It could really bury into the chest that much. You have the butterfly joints right here, which is pretty neat to have. They actually kind of just wiggle going forward and back, but they do swing up very far, and it's really due to transformation. Shoulders move outward that much, and you can move them down. Rotate a full 360 if you can get everything out of the way. You can do that. You get a bicep swivel right there, and then a 90-degree single jointed elbow, and then the wrist turns side to side. You get a little bit of a ab pivot right over here, so at the waist it pivots some, and you do get full-on waist rotation. It'll rotate that much. Hips can do the splits all the way outward and kick all the way forward and then all the way back. Get an upper thigh cut right there, and then the double jointed knee system right here, which is pretty neat. I do like that, even though it's just a little bit more than the 90-degree mark right there. Then the ankles will just move down a little bit and move up, and it does have ankle pivot. Not a lot of ankle pivot, but it is there. Now to measure out this Ultimate X-Spanse figure, you can see standing at around the 9.5-inch mark. Now for our size comparison for Ultimate X-Spanse with some Optimus Primes, we have the MP10 Toys R Us Optimus Prime. Then we have the Power of the Primes Leader Class Optimus Prime, which is around the same price range as the Ultimate X-Spanse, and then we have our Voyager Class Siege Optimus Prime. And then here's Ultimate X-Spanse next to some other Marvel figures right here. We have Psylocke from Marvel Select, and then we have Hasbro's Marvel Legends Juggernaut or Apocalypse Build-A-Figure Waves Wolverine, and then we have the Marvel Universe 3¾ inch Cyclops. And just to bring in one of these tiny figures over here, just so you can see how those scale as well. And then here's Ultimate X-Spanse next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Badass Spider-Man. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please show some love to the channel by hitting that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new here, as well as the notification bell. And a big extra thank you to all these people over here showing the extra love and supporting via the Tron and membership. If you are interested and you're in the position to do so, check it out, link below, or click that join button. And this figure is very fun. I like it a lot. I really do enjoy it. At first, I was a little skeptical about it. For some reason, I thought it was going to be more cheaply made. I guess maybe it's just my memory from the older Marvel Transformer figure mashups. I feel like those were, I don't know, not as complex and as intricate as this figure right over here. So this, exceeded my expectations. I'm really happy with it. It's a pricier figure. It's a larger figure, and I see it as a leader class figure, right? I mean, it basically is. It's a little bit larger than the other one, or most figures you're going to get from Transformers anyway. So it cost me around $65. Thanks again to X-Mania87 for the Target pre-order on this. I really appreciate the heads up, bro. Thank you so much. But anyway, at the price point of around $65, I will give this Ultimate X-Spanse, aka Mutatron figure, a Sud rating of I love it. And I'd like to know what you guys think. Like, for real, Mutatron's a better name, right? No, I mean, I want to know what you think of the figure more than anything else, so please let me know in the comments section below. If you want to see the latest in Transformers news, you can find it all over at tformers.com, and if you want to stay in touch with me via social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, and I will catch you guys later. Peace!
Crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't. Your face,